Welcome to a new episode of The Graveyard Shift. Today, we're going to be talking about a viewer's experience living in a HDB in Jurong West. For context, she stays near the road leading to Jalan Bahar. This is a story. I live in Jurong West. As you may know, it is quite near the cemetery area. I would often see van janazah and other vehicles housing dead bodies passing by. As I work long hours, I would often feel uneasy walking under my void deck. There are times where I could feel as if someone was watching me, but I just shrugged it off. An incident I couldn't forget happened this past year. I work long hours, as I've mentioned before, but this time I decided to finish up the rest of my work, which resulted in me coming home later than usual. It was past midnight. I booked a Grab and left my workplace. I finally reached the car park near my house, and I didn't think much of it until I reached my void deck. At this point, the feeling of fear has become the norm, as I was pretty much used to it. As I made my way towards the lift lobby, I could smell a rotting odor wafting past me. I immediately had goosebumps. This felt different. I would often get the feeling of somebody watching me, but this time, it felt as if there was an actual human being behind me. The fear got so intense that I closed my eyes and screamed, "Jangan kacau aku!" Finally, the lift doors opened. I quickly went in and pressed the close button multiple times. As the lift was going up, I could almost catch a glimpse of a figure in white. It happened too fast, so I was unsure if it really was a spirit or it was just my imagination. Finally, it was my floor. So I left and practically sprinted towards my door. I opened it and slammed the door shut. My mom was awoken by the commotion and said, "Kau ni dah kenapa?" I replied, "Tak ada apa-apa." I did not want to freak my mom out. I went ahead towards my toilet and showered as usual. As I was showering, the feeling of fear started to fade, and I felt a sense of relief that I made it home safe. I had supper and got ready for bed. I took off my spectacles and laid on my bed. I was the only child, so I had the room all to myself. My parents were asleep in the other room. That night, I kept tossing and turning. That's when I saw a figure, which looked like a bolster, standing behind my translucent curtain. It was very blurry, as I wasn't using my spectacles, so I ignored it. I would often freak myself out, thinking I'm seeing an entity, but in reality, it was just the objects in my room, mimicking a figure. The smell of pachai wafted past my nose. That's when I realized that what I saw was real. Pachai is used during Muslim funerals to mask the smell of a dead body. I've gone to funerals where the smell was prevalent. I got up from my bed and ran towards my parents' room screaming. That night, I slept in my parents' room. The next day, my dad got an ustaz to check the house. The ustaz said that the entity was just passing by. That is it for this episode of The Graveyard Shift. If you have any more stories, do drop me a message on any of my social medias. Thank you, and I'll see you again soon.